dragons. He laid his habitation waste. So that's why Mount Seir, the habitation of Esau, is not inhabited today. Like a desert. You understand this? It's like a desert. It's desolate down there. And if you look at these people, everywhere they went, that land becomes desolate. And they got to go find a new land. This is why they're leaving tokens of their voluptuousness everywhere. Because everywhere they go, they destroy the land. The land don't bear fruit for them. What happened in Europe? What happened to why Christopher Columbus sailed to come over here to discover it? It's because they wasn't growing nothing over there. That's because their land was becoming desolate. They had to come and find a new world, as they call it. So they sent Christopher Columbus on to so-called discover the Americas. Another next line. We'll get on that later. But the point I'm making is that as the Lord laid his heritage and his land waste, it's through the wickedness that he practiced. It's through the evil that he practiced. Alright, read it.
Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are in poverty, but we will return and build a desolate place.
I mean, this is what they're saying today. With all the desolate places. What happened with the 9/11? As soon as them Twin Towers came down, they talking about, well, we're going to rebuild them. We're going to rebuild them. This is what they say. We're going to return and build the desolate places. But what you need to understand is that the Lord already established this man in the earth. Alright? He's fulfilling everything he's supposed to do. But we're not as a nation. This is the focus. We're not as a nation. Alright? Read on.
Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom said, we are in poverty, but we will return and build a desolate places. Thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
The Lord said, as they shall build, but he's going to tear it right down. He's going to bring it down. As they keep rebuilding this America. This land was built upon blood, sweat, and tears. Through the rape and robbery and the murder of our people. Alright? The so-called Native American Indians. They slaughtered them. Today they hold a festival or a feast or a so-called holy day that they call Thanksgiving, which they did in wickedness. They killed off our people and stole this land and made them serve in hard bondage. Alright? Read on.
Malachi 1:4. They said, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Come on.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
This is what they're going to call Esau, the border of wickedness.
Read it. The people against whom the Lord has indignation
and against the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. Why? Obadiah 6.
Obadiah 6.
No, read 10.
Obadiah 10. For the violence against thy brother Jacob.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. For the simple fact that you couldn't let that old rivalry go. You couldn't let the fact that you sold your birthright go. This is an old rivalry that goes back to Jacob and Esau. Two fathers of two different nations. This is a rivalry, a perpetual hatred that they had against us for taking their blessing. Alright? Read it.
Obadiah 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Come on.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away the captive his forces.
In the day that strangers carried away captive his forces. Read it.
And foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was as one of them.
Even thou was as one of them. This is talking about the Babylonian captivity. When the Babylonians came in 586 BC and enslaved the house of Judah. Alright? Esau was right there, cheering them on, helping them. Helping the Africans enslave us, right? Even back then, 586 BC. Alright, read it.
Obadiah 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he had became a stranger.
In the day that he became a stranger. Why? Because he went off, the Lord sent him away out the land, and he became a stranger. Strange to his zone because you left the way of the Most High. Alright? It's the reason why he let the next nation overcome us. It's not because that nation is wicked. This is the reason why he did it. No, because of our evil. Read on.
Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
Come on.
Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gates of my people.
Come on.
In the day of their calamity.
In the day of their calamity, in the day of their distress, in the day where next rulers from the next land was coming to chase us out of our homes. Come on, man. The Lord said these are the reasons why he hates the so-called white man. Because of the things that they've done. Alright? Because of the evil that they practice against his people. Read it.
Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. How did they lay hands on our substance, man? They took hold of the word of the Lord. They took our homes. They took our riches. They took our apparel. They took our identity. Now they run around calling themselves the Jews. You got a next man running around with a yarmulke, a black dirty suit, running around calling himself a Jew now. Far from the case, people. Far from the case. Alright, you got that Ezekiel 25? 12.
Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Esau has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance.
By taking vengeance, again, like that old rivalry I mentioned, about when Jacob got that blessing from his father that was supposed to go to Esau. Alright? A lot of you don't understand why we're in this predicament. It's because of the vengeance that he took upon himself. He said, I'm going to take it upon myself to pay these so-called Negroes, West Indians, Puerto Ricans back. And that's what he did. Alright, read it.
Thus says the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
And have revenged himself upon the house of Jacob. Read it.
Therefore, thus says the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it.
Come on.
And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. So the point I'm bringing this scripture out is because they took it upon themselves to avenge themselves and to come up against us. This is why the Lord going to repay it back to them. This is why the Lord going to give it right back to them. Everything that they did unto us. They deceived the whole world by taking us out as a nation. Alright? Come back to the second Ezra 6.